Hello, this is Dominic from the Jack and Dom Radio Show, a weekly sports radio program, and although we broadcast on professional hardware, we do record our show mostly on my laptop, and sometimes I don't press record right when we start. Some shows will start right in the middle of a topic. Regardless, this show is a work of love and passion for sports with raw and transparent opinions between the two of us. So I hope you all enjoy.
The Jack and Dom radio show here on this Thanksgiving weekend, or Thanksgiving week, excuse me. Wanted to ask how all of you are doing, although I am probably one of the few people left on campus because most of everyone has left, including Jack. So it's just going to be me, Dominic, today. We're going to have something a little shorter than usual, just to get through what's been happening the last week, and some stuff to think about for the next coming week. But that being said, the opinions said on the show do not represent the opinions of this radio station or the university. Now, I do want to also bring up, you can now get this show, or at least the recording of this show, where you can find podcasts, whether it be on Amazon Music, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Just look up the Jack and Dom Radio Show, and you'll get the recordings of this radio show wherever you can find podcasts. So that being said, women's soccer doing obviously very well for the regular season. I believe for the third time in a row, loses the first game of the postseason, losing to Drury 4-1. Like I mentioned, third time in a row. I wish Jack was here to obviously give me some of the secondary commentary, but he's not here today. So he is somewhere. I don't know where he went. I think he's obviously back home. So, but specifically where I forgot, I'm an introvert. I don't get to, but I just don't get to know these things. Our volleyball team in, I believe, the GILIAC semifinals loses to Grand Valley State 3-2. I know it was hard fought, very close, but Grand Valley gets to go to the finals for women's volleyball for the GILIAC. And then also men's basketball loses to two tough opponents. Number 3, Minnesota State Moorhead, 82-71. And number 6, Minnesota Duluth, 79-67. Both very, very, very hard fought games. But that being said, they are also very exceptional teams to play against. So a lot better than losing 18 to Michigan State. But hard fought as always. We will be hosting first home game against Concordia November 30th. So that's just 5 days away. So I hope all of you can be there. Women's basketball is still currently undefeated and will host Purdue Northwest on December 5th. So it's that is some time away, but will be a home game against Purdue Northwest. And for hockey, our hockey team will be playing at Augustana on the 29th and the 30th. So I mean, that's just a nice little summary of what's going around, around the horn here at NMU. Now with Michigan and Michigan State football, there's obviously been some stuff going on. Michigan has been able to get one of the top recruit, Bryce Underwood, to commit to the University of Michigan. I believe that is, at least what I've been told and what I've seen, a very, very big deal. And this can definitely change the trajectory of Michigan football, and to see where it goes next with that. There is obviously a very big game coming up this coming Saturday with Ohio State and Michigan. So obviously Ohio State is very, very much favored. And I believe Jack would tell you that Ohio State would also win. But I would also add on, it's going to be a nasty game for Michigan. Ohio State will have a lot of fun playing Michigan, probably run up the score a little bit. We'll see how it goes. But it is always a fun game to watch, regardless, because I obviously have some family who's from Ohio, and so they get to obviously enjoy some of that. Let's see what else. I did hear that Michigan is set to get a new offensive coordinator, QB coach, and wide receiver coach, along with a lot of name, image, and likeness-driven transfers. We'll see what happens with that. It will definitely change the trajectory of the program. And I know with Michigan State, there has been some shakeups regarding recruits. There's still, I believe, some recruits going. Recruits are going to go to Michigan State. They're a big D1 program, but Michigan State, in order to be bowl eligible, must beat Rutgers. They must beat Rutgers to get to 6 wins. We will see what happens there. I believe Rutgers has a slight advantage in favorability, but it is obviously something that Michigan State can pull off. So we will see what happens there. I know that Jack will have a lot to say about that next week, especially after the big game, and as well as recruiting. He has a lot more insight on that. I'll definitely, and hopefully all of us will be interested in hearing what he has to say, because there's a lot to say. The Detroit Lions, I know we're going through this pretty quickly here. Obviously something that I am very, very excited about. Lions win again with a 9-game win streak, best since 1934. That's how far back we have to go to compare ourselves against. Back-to-back 10-win seasons for the first time ever, which is amazing as a Lions fan myself. Probably not so much for the few Packers fans that are listening in, but Lions are on top, and it looks like it's going to stay that way unless something really, really crazy happens. Obviously, going through some injuries, but it still seems to be going very good for the Lions, because Aiden Hutchinson got injured. A lot of people freaked out. And then I think Darian Arnold or maybe somebody else got injured. A bunch of people would get injured. People would get worried, but we're still here. We're still number 1 in the NFL, which is crazy to say. Number 1 in the NFL. Best record going into Thanksgiving, 9-1 since 1934. Best win streak since 1934. Jack left me some notes here. He believes, and I believe, the Bears. We're gonna beat the Bears this Thanksgiving. He says about 31-17. That seems about fair. Although, given how the Bears are not very good, I don't know if I think they'll score a touchdown, but I don't know if 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Probably just a touchdown and maybe a handful of field goals. Because I know the Lions defense have really picked it up. And Jax is telling me, the injuries are not going to derail the Lions. And then another question, is this the best Lions we've ever seen, even if we fall early in playoffs? Jack tells you this. Definitely yes. It's definitely breaking the mold. We are the favorites. Not simply one-year wonders anymore. Yeah, which I always remember. Every once in a while, the Lions would have a have an up year, but always be number 2 in the division and barely squeak into the wild card spot to then get blown out. But this is definitely something very different. Yeah, definitely the Lions' culture has changed, and I think the Lions are going to be very healthy and very competitive and dangerous for at least the next 5 years. Although I believe the word is that the coordinators are going to leave to get coaching spots elsewhere because it's obviously hard. It's hard to keep really, really good coordinators because other teams, bad teams, are going to be like, I want you and I'm going to pay you a lot of money. But there obviously are still some obstacles left in the way. Green Bay is obviously a tough opponent. Minnesota is another tough opponent, but also the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills beating the Chiefs relatively recently are very hot. And even though the Lions are favored to beat the Bills, it's still going to be a very tough game for the Lions and will be another really good test to see, are the Lions who we say we are, in the sense that, or at least the sense that, with what I'm saying, that the Lions should be compared or put on the list with the 99 Rams, the 2000 Ravens, and the 07 Pats, and the 85 Bears, and the 91 Redskins. Should the 24 Lions be on this team or be on this list? And obviously, we're on path, we're on pace to get on this list of elite teams, historical teams throughout the NFL. But anything can still happen. The Panthers almost beat the Chiefs yesterday. Given how the Panthers are very bad and the Chiefs are very good, it was within just a few points. So yeah, it is very, very, very close. But Jack believes that we'll lose to the Packers, although it'll be a close one. I think it'll be a close game too, although I think we'll pull off the win. And given how the 49ers are just at a low this year, I think the Lions will show up, have that revenge game compared to last year, and beat the 49ers. And I think the Lions could end up being 16-1, potentially 15-2 if maybe we lose to the Bills. But that being said, it's not the end of the world if that happens. And the Lions will clinch the number 1 seed and obviously win the division and the conference. So I think that'll be pretty cool to see. But then again, anything can happen. But the Lions would play the Bears this Thanksgiving, given how, although it's not, the rumor isn't entirely true that the Lions or the speculation, that the Lions always lose the Thanksgiving game. That's not actually true. That's not objectively true. The Lions have won Thanksgiving games in the past, but apparently not many. I still think that the Lions will win the Thanksgiving game against a really bad Bears team on the down low. Looking at other things to talk about, because we literally just blew by a bunch of stuff. Pistons and Red Wings, continue to disappoint, given their down year. Although for the Pistons, it's not surprising given what happened last year, with their record. Although the Cavaliers are now doing pretty good. I think they just lost their first game after winning 13 in a row to start off the season. We could, again, get a Cavaliers versus Warriors final, because I remember my goodness, like 10 years ago when LeBron James was in the Cavs, came back to the Cavaliers, and then they kept going to the finals again and again and again. And then there was some meme that was made where they just would like keep going to the finals year after year after year. And like 50 years from now, it's like still the Cavs versus Warriors, but it's like robots now. So, things happen. There's still some people wondering what's going to happen to the enemy football team, because 22 losses in a row is obviously something, not a proud moment, of course. It is still Jack and I's opinion that we should be getting a new coach, but we will see regardless with what happens. It is also possible that he will stay another year, because to be honest, if the coach was going to be fired, he should be fired by now. I don't know if the excuse is, but the word out on the street is, at least from my sources, that because of transfers, injuries, and also being the youngest team in the conference, that this was still just another building year. And hey, please give me one more year to build things up. Take that as you will. It is my opinion that we should be looking for someone new now, given the culture is not where it should be, with what people in the room are telling me. Multiple people in the room, are telling me. And, just all the things like that. Let me see what else there is here to talk about. Yeah, well, like I said, this is, something very, very short for this week, because Thanksgiving, so most people are gone. I hope all of you have a good Thanksgiving break. Please stay safe out there. Like I said before, you can get the show where you can find podcasts, whether it be on Amazon Music, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Just look up the Jack and Dom Radio Show, and you will definitely find us there. Unless there's anything else to talk about, Jack. Oh, wait, he's not here. That's fine. We will see you guys next week. Like I said, this is the Jack and Dom Radio Show here on WUPX 91.5 FM HD1 Marquette. We'll see you guys next week.